This, when you're in another country, it's incredibly difficult because you're trying so hard not to screw up, and you have to think about everything you're doing. We're very now, this is our place. We hang out here, and it's very easy to do that. So I find it tiring being in other countries. They're fun. They obviously they're kind of impressed by me because I'm a little taller than the average Japanese. And I remember one time I was teaching a class there, and a room where the ceiling was rubbing the top of my head, and a little bit into that class, I managed to walk into one of the fire sprinklers and set it off.
Oh my God!
And so I walked right into it, and it knocked me down, and I fell on my butt, and then I hear this hissing sound, which is the air going, because the pipes are full of air initially, and then all of a sudden I go, oh shit, and it, it's all this rusty, and it's like, oh no, and that was a particular high point of my career there. Oddly enough, actually, I have another funny Japanese story. I think I'm the only person I know that was ever mugged in Japan.
How did that happen?
Well, that was really interesting because when I went to Japan, I was determined not to be a total ignoramus. So I took a little 6-week Japanese course, and all I basically learned to do was say, go to page, and then how to say the page numbers and that. And then I learned to say the most common questions that I usually get asked, which is, do you play basketball and how tall are you? Right, that sort of thing. And good morning class and, that sort of thing. And so I was walking to work because I was staying in one hotel and the work was like, a mile away or something. So I was just walking. And there's these little clouds of Japanese school children, and they all travel in packs. They all wearing uniforms. They're cute as a button, right? And out of one of these little clouds, this little boy comes out and walks right up to me and says something in Japanese. But the one thing I learned about Japanese is the way you make a statement into a question is by adding the particle word ka at the end. So he said, ka, right? Now the most common question strangers ask me is, how tall are you, right? And so I leaned down and very kindly, I think, said, I'm, about 7 feet tall, or 2 meters, 10, whatever. Now, I don't know what question that kid asked, but that was the wrong answer because his little face turned from like a very neutral face to a very angry face. And all of a sudden, he just backs up just a little bit. Now, this is a kid who comes up to about here on me, right? Backs up a little bit and just goes boom, like this, right into my crotch.
Wow.
And I just went down like, a chimney, just boom, right on the ground. And he's standing over me, screaming at me in Japanese. And I'm like rolling around and fading in and out and that sort of thing. And finally he kicks some dirt on me and walks back to his group, and they leave. And so, I go staggering into the office and they freak out, right? And I repeated over and over what I said to that kid, and they said, yeah, you said you're about 7 feet tall. Now the only thing I can think of is that he must have maybe just learned about Hiroshima, and they said, well, aren't you, and I said, I'm 7 feet tall, something, I don't know how I insulted, but boy, he was insulted. And so now I have this terrible fear of Japanese school children. But anyway, that's me, right? Big dumb American. So anyway, so that was my little, those are my, so in Japan, but it was a beautiful place to be. Food was great, and most of them, they were very, very nice to me, and could any one of them could drink me under the table. They were, after class, they go out and drink. Oh man. But anyway. But that was back in the 90s, so maybe they've calmed down.
Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe.
So do you have another book brewing of some sort?
Well, actually, this is all I know about performance, and so that's it, right? But since I do work at Ben & Jerry's and get a lot of questions about ice cream, I've been toying with the idea of writing a book on ice cream. And, how to make it, why you should appreciate commercial ice cream, how to do really screwed up things with ice cream, how to remove ingredients from ice cream, and, that sort of thing, so that you can create what you like. And so I've been toying with that idea, but I haven't gotten the domain name yet and started to work on
Have
it.
you run it by management over there? Maybe they'd be interested in helping you.
Oh yes, I talked to the lady in the bookstore and in the gift shop, and she said, "Oh yeah, we'd so love to carry that." And how cool would that be? Like, oh, I've got to. Well, you could look at my book in the gift shop.
I've done that.
I wouldn't mention it, but it'd just be like imagine him coming over to me and go, "Is this really you?" Yeah, it's really me. I wrote it. And you're working here. Anyway, but I thought that might be fun, but I don't know, because it was remarkable trying to organize 50,000 words into 200 pages of something that's mildly useful, and I thought that was good. I could never do what you do, which is write fiction, because I've spent my whole life doing computer training. And so, I'd have the whole plot down to like 5 bullet points, and the book would be a page and a half long.
Yeah.
It's like boom, 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 boom. There we go.
Well, that was the perfect segue for. Thank you for that.
Oh.
Yeah, we're almost out of time, by the way. But for those of you who've been looking forward to my next book, here it is. Now, the title is Terror Strikes Downtown, and what it's about is what happens in a small Vermont town when somebody blows up half of Main Street. That's the very cogent version. It will be out soon. Somebody else will be interviewing me about it, I hope, on Book Talk, but
I'll come back. I'll do you.
All right. We'll see
So,
how it
Steve,
goes.
I don't know a damn thing about writing a nonfiction book. Tell me about it. And can it solve computer problems?
Here we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, that's it for Book Talk for this episode. Once again, Bob Wescott, author of the Every Computer Performance book. And I'm Steve Seitz, and we'll see you next time.